Good morning, happy Friday. Look at how messy my kitchen is. I can't even deal with that right now. We are going to clinic. My face is feeling puffy, but that's okay, and I've got crazy flyaways. I am going to do what I do every morning, just vitamin C, this one by The Ordinary, which is 30% in silicone, and this huge tub of Cetaphil. I would die for Cetaphil moisturizer. It is the only thing that actually moisturizes my super dry skin. Please sponsor me, Cetaphil. Just like that much vitamin C, and then I literally mix it with my moisturizer because the vitamin C kind of has like a really funny texture, and it just like feels kind of dry when you apply it on the skin. The only beef that I have, I guess, with Cetaphil, actually I'm sure one exists, like a SPF one, and I just don't have it, but I should probably get one. But for the moment, I'm using like a separate product for my SPF that I just put over the top, which is working for the moment, so I'll just wait until that runs out. Pretty sure it was actually free. It was like gifted I like spent enough money at Sephora or something, and they just like gave it to me, and it's such a good product. It's ultraviolet SPF 50, and like it doesn't smell like sunscreen, and it's really nice, and I really like it. I don't do very much, but I don't like that much. And again, like I am not planning on seeing the light of day today. Like it's dark, and it's going to be dark when I get home, but we don't want wrinkles and we don't want skin cancer. So, and I also do like the back of my hands as well. And like I said, I have the driest skin, so I also like do my elbows every day. I'm like an old lady. So I used to always go to regional clinics, always. Like it was like we'd go like 2 days a fortnight. And then when I started teaching at uni, I was like, I can't because I'm teaching on those days. And so I stopped doing rural clinic, which is kind of a shame because I love rural clinic. It's kind of a bother because it's like early mornings, late finishes. And it's like a 3-hour drive kind of situation, but I still like really, really enjoy it. So the last time I did a rural clinic was like March, I think February or March. And I'm doing one today because they were like, oh, can you come? And I was like, you know what? I'm actually not doing anything, so I would love to. I'm just using my little Charlotte Tilbury magic cream. I don't know if I've repurchased this, to be honest. I'm just putting like a little bit around my T-zone because obviously I have to wear masks in the hospital. But just because I have time this morning and I know it's going to be such a long day, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put a little bit of makeup on my face. I'm going to do, gosh, this has not aged well. I've had this for like 2 months. The Flawless Filter just on my forehead, I think, and like a little bit on the top of my cheeks. Like I said, I'm wearing a face mask, so it's gonna get all makeup-y, which I kind of hate. And I'm gonna do a little bit of concealer under my eyes and mascara. And I've just boiled the kettle, so I'm gonna have a coffee at home. We do always have coffee bought for us when we like, it's morning tea time, which is just so sweet. Like everything about the rural clinic is just the best, and all the patients bake for us, and they're so grateful. They come from like 10 hours drive, like, and they're just so sweet, and like the staff is great. It's like the biggest clinic ever. Sometimes we have like 100 patients in a day, which is crazy because usually they all need treatment. They're all having like injections or laser or, you know, anything like that. Oh, I really should use my hands. Should I use my, oh, use my hands. That was probably not enough for my forehead. It's very sheen. Like, I do recommend the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but not if you're like a full coverage queen, because it is not that. Like, I can only put it on my chin and not put it on my cheeks, and you wouldn't be able to tell. I went yesterday to the driving range with my friend who we're studying for the GAMSAT together, and we usually study every Thursday. And we were watching TikToks, and basically all these people were like, I studied and I got this score, and then I didn't study the next time and I got this score. And we just sort of convinced ourselves that it doesn't matter what we do, that our score is predetermined. So we're like, you know what, let's just go to the range. And we were at the driving range for like 4 hours, and my lat is so sore, but it was such a good time. Look at this horrific pimple. I popped it last night and it was overdue to be popped, so like the fluid that was in it was like way too deep down to squeeze, and I did it anyway because I'm a self-sabotaging queen. I feel like that's fine. Is that fine? That's fine. So I'm just gonna set that area with my Charlotte Tilbury, no, that's a complete lie, with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. My house is shockingly messy, like probably one of the worst it's ever been. You know when your dishwasher is clean and you just haven't unloaded it yet, and then your dirty dishes pile up? Yeah, that's the situation. But it's fine. Also, very exciting for the podcast, I put up on my Instagram, like, who do you guys want me to interview? Because the interview that I did with Charlotte just popped off, and it was, you know, you guys frothed it. And I loved it. I had the best time and I learned so much from it. So I was like, you know what? Interviews are the way to go. Who should I interview? And every single answer, but like 5 were like, Leo. I literally got Leo as like a response over 100 times. So I spoke to him yesterday and I was like, do you want to be on my podcast? And he was like, okay. So tomorrow we will be recording a podcast with Leo, and I'm sure you guys will love it. All of my podcasts can be found on my Patreon. My Patreon is $2 a month, but all of the proceeds go to charity. So highly recommend, if I do say so myself. Also, what was it that I wore the other day? I wore Better Than Sex the other day, again, because I'm a self-sabotaging queen. Like, I know better, but like this was so expensive and I'm like, I should use it. And I also wore Climax like the next day. And I kid you not, just all around my eye. Panda City, Panda Central, just, it looked like I had been punched, and then I cried, and then it was just literally like a disaster. Nothing. And I've also tried Lauren Curtis's Lounge Face Lash. It doesn't fall out the same, like it doesn't smudge, but I do get like physical pieces of fallout, and I find it really heavy on my lashes, so they don't maintain the curl. Also, Pillow Talk lashes, shockingly bad. The only thing that doesn't do me wrong is, I have 2 of them. The Sky High by Maybelline. Like, I can't. It's a 10 out of 10. Like, I will wear this for like over 12 hours and I won't have any fallout. And it's life-changing. I have the waterproof one and the non-waterproof one. I'm going to do the non-waterproof one because it's easy to get off. I'm going to curl my lashes again. I do definitely miss my eyelash extension days, but at the same time, like, who has time to lie down for 2 hours every 2 weeks? Not me. I wish they were more permanent, that's the only thing. My role today in the regional clinic is to do the fluorescein angiograms. I talk about these all the time, so I'm sorry if you're sick of hearing about them, but basically it's a diagnostic test. It's a contrast dye test, so it's sort of along the lines of like a CT with contrast, or like an angiogram of the heart. Basically, fluorescein is the contrast dye that we use, and angiogram means photo of vasculature. So we're interested in the vessels at the back of the eye, in the retina, and it's actually like pretty much the most important diagnostic test. So you're not really able to say like, oh, this patient has macular degeneration, this patient has an ERM, this patient, you know, has MacTel. You can't diagnose any of that without this test. So this is really like the definitive diagnostic tool that tells us what is wrong with the patient. I think the most I've done in a day is like 30, and then the least I've done is like 1 or 2. So I'm hoping that I have a steady stream today. So it involves consenting the patient to like the side effects and the risks. It's super safe. Worst case scenario, they sort of like vomit or faint. We've had 1 person go into anaphylaxis in like 5 years. So it's pretty safe overall. And then I prep the machine. It's like this huge monstrosity of a $500,000 machine. And then I do a financial consent with the patient, and then I take some preliminary photos, so some autofluorescence photos, some color photos of just like the entire fundus, so just like putting their head into the machine, sort of getting really wide. I sometimes manipulate their lids and lashes if I have to, and taking 2 photos of each eye before anything happens. I then look for a vein, I cannulate, put in a little butterfly, attach the contrast dye, just like 2 mils of fluorescein dye, and then the doctor has to be the one to inject that, obviously, because I'm not a doctor. Yeah, so it takes about 3 seconds for the dye to reach the entire blood system, including behind the eyes, and I just constantly take photos for about 3 minutes of both eyes alternating, so we can see the different stages of the dye sort of perfusing the retina, which is really awesome. And so it highlights any like diabetic retinopathy or just anything vasculature, and there are so many disorders of the retina, as I've come to learn. Oh, I have those little creases of concealer, even though I set under my eyes. I hate it. I watch some people on TikTok who do makeup routines and they just like don't have the creases under their eyes, and I'm like, how is it to be God's favorite? I got a little pain au chocolat, and I'm actually here in town. I'm like 100 meters away from work, so I'm just going to drive there, and I've just been listening to music the entire time. Ignore the sound of the sterilizer. I'm sorry, it's really loud. I'm just having a coffee, and I'm going to show you what fluorescein angiogram looks like. So this is diabetic retinopathy. This is early on, and this is in the 3-minute mark. So we can see all of these little microaneurysms in the white. And then we also have a branch retinal vein occlusion, or an eye stroke, where it's up here. We can see all of this vascular dropout in the 3-minute mark. Just leaving clinic, look how shiny my forehead is. I had just the most beautiful day. Oh, it's so sunny and warm. Man, I had such a good day. It was so busy. I'll give you an update in just a second when I get inside my car. So it's currently 3:30 and I just got out of clinic and I had a really good day. It was really quite busy. Basically, the first half of the day I was doing fluorescein angiograms, and pretty much we had like macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, branch retinal vein occlusion, I think just another macular degeneration. And then the second half of the day I was actually in with the doctor, assisting him in intravitreal injections, which is injections into the eye of anti-VEGF drugs. So things like Lucentis, Eylea, Avastin, which get injected into the white of the eye. And it's basically to, I suppose, simple terms, is to soak up the fluid at the back of the eye. So in macular degeneration, we see lots of fluid accumulation that shouldn't be there. So those drugs help with that. And I think we had something insane like 50 injections today. So it's not surgery, we don't scrub, but it's considered like a sterile procedure. So we need to like get a sterile field set up before and after every patient, bring the patients in, and then sort of prep them, pop a speculum in, doctor does the injection. We then give like a couple of drops of antibiotics and do like a good clear out of like the betadine and that sort of thing. And then we escort the patient out, bring in a new patient, and same thing over and over again with lots of sterile packs and that sort of thing. So that was really fun. I don't usually ever do injections. They were really short staffed today. I'm usually always in pre-workup and diagnostic imaging, but it was good to do something different today. And I know that the doctor really appreciated it because he literally had no staff that was available today. Everyone was sick. So it was good to sort of sharpen up my skills. I haven't done injections in a really, really long time. But yeah, really fast paced, really fun. Got to cannulate a whole bunch today, which was great. And yeah, nothing out of the ordinary with regards to conditions. I actually didn't get a lunch break, but that's fine. I'm not hungry at all. I was just snacking on chocolate all day, but here's my lunch that I brought, so I should probably eat that soon. And also my breakfast that I brought, but I had a croissant, so that's okay. I am currently going to drive back to Brisbane, which is going to take me a little while, probably 2 hours. And I'm actually just going to go straight to uni because I need to feed and passage my cells, which will take, I think, about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we'll see how we go. I'm just at KFC because I just became super, super hungry, like 45 minutes into the drive. And I meant to go to Hungry Jack's, but I missed the turn off, so I'm at KFC. I got a Zinger burger and it's delicious. I am obsessed with KFC. I also got a 7-Up because I need some sugar. I'm here at the lab after a 2-hour drive back to the city. If you ever want to go somewhere deserted, go to a lab on a Friday night. I'm gonna check on my cell babies. So I'm just here at the incubator, and all of these flasks are mesenchymal stromal cells from the human choroid. They're the same ones I've been growing up for literally months, but these are the most mature. So these are passage 5. So they've gone through 5 passagings, and so they're super, super confluent, and they're pretty much almost ready. I would say they're like 80% confluent. So I'm probably just gonna feed them today and then passage them on Sunday. All right, so I've just had a look at them, and they're actually nowhere near as confluent as I would have expected for the age. I honestly probably won't passage these until Wednesday now. So that's our flask, and the pink stuff is the cell food. We call it media. And let's have a look here, see if I can keep still. Yeah, beautiful. So they're all of our cells. So I need to make up some more cell food before I feed them. So this is the base DMEM. I've showed it a bunch of times. Glutamine, penstrep, and fetal bovine. I just wanted to show this because my supervisor is the most amazing person ever. He literally aliquots all of these. So in the freezer there's like 1,000 of these, and there's 1,000 of penstrep, fetal bovine. He literally like makes it up from powder, freezing media, like all of this I should be doing, but he just does it for me because he is the best. So shout out to him. I'm just gonna pop these in the bead bath, let them heat up, and I'm gonna have a little TikTok break because I haven't been on social media all day because I'm in clinic, and just let this all heat up before getting my cells out. So it's about 6:30 and I have just fed approximately 20 million cells, like literally that number, 20 million. So it's been a pretty productive day so far. Feeling pretty good. I think I'm a bit dehydrated. I haven't had enough water today, but it's nice and dark outside. I'm gonna go home and see Leo and have a very nice hot shower, and then do a bit of study and plan tomorrow's podcast. Do you want some sushi? Sushi? I think that's a yes.
Drink tissues.
Good baby.
Poor guy. He's doing her why? Because he cares too much? He feels.
We've just got some dumplings and some buns and some fried rice, and I'm so excited. for bed, I'm sitting up and just reading some GAMSAT sample essays, which I actually quite enjoy doing. Like I find them, they're all quite good, so I find them really interesting to read, and they're on like a whole bunch of topics. It's just from Des O'Neill, and so that's really good. It's kind of a shame because I haven't really been able to read very much since doing a lot of study, but I am still reading the third Dan Brown Robert Langdon series book, The Lost Symbol, which I'm probably like, I don't know, a quarter of the way through. It is really good, but nothing is as good as Angels and Demons. Highly recommend Angels and Demons. And I've just got Leo onto probably my favorite book of all time. If you haven't read it, this is going to hurt. I laughed, I cried on every page, and I am not an emotional person. And it's just so good, and I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, oh, should I reread it for like the 5th millionth time? Yes, definitely. Anyway, so I'm going to just read a little bit and then go to sleep. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed and you give this video a like.